David Eichel here for HawkeyeInsider.com, along with Sean Bach, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, as we continue to break down the 2020 Iowa Hawkeyes football team that will be taking the field exactly 1 month from today. Sean, we've already touched on the offensive side. We talked about Spencer Petras. Now let's move over to the defensive side. Who's the guy that maybe, again, not under the radar, but who's the guy that you can really see taking his game to the next level in 2020?
Well, I went with the true sophomore for the offense, and I'm going to go true sophomore for defense as well. I think Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Cedar Falls, is going to be a big piece this year. We saw him last year as a guy that mainly played special teams on kickoff. Then we saw him here and there at linebacker. But I think, too, with Dylan Doyle, you have to think about this. Dylan Doyle got most of the snaps last year at middle backer, and now he's off to Baylor. And I think that middle linebacker position is wide open. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the cash position, really how many linebackers they're going to put on the field. But I think Campbell's definitely a guy that the coaching staff was really high on. Covers sideline, very quick, laterally, moves well, good tackler, good finisher. Just a lot of tools that you like. Kind of your typical Iowa quarterback, very fundamental. Really lengthy guy, too. I mean, he's not a Josie Jewell type where he's shorter and more stout, but, I mean, he can move it. He moves really well, can keep up, and I think he's a guy that you got to really like and get some more playing time depending on how Iowa really handles the defensive formations and what we kind of see from that.
Sure. I think there's a couple of guys you can name here. I think Dayton Belton is another obvious choice that will be probably pretty popular among Iowa fans. Maybe a guy like John Wagner will be another one. Maybe Julius Brents. I'm going to go with Davion Nixon. Again, it's been a long journey for defensive tackle Davion Nixon. He had a pretty solid last season, 29 total tackles, 5.5 for loss, 3 sacks. But I'll say this, Sean, I think, again, Kirk Ferentz's staff did a great job of getting graduate transfers to help fill an immediate need. I think Jack Heflin can be a huge part about why Davion Nixon can be a breakout caliber guy. I think Chauncey Golston could be in for a big year as well. But look, Davion, I think, is arguably the most talented Iowa defensive lineman in the room. Just his sheer size, technique, his aggression. I think if he can just develop that stamina and can play, the majority of snaps and can demand double teams, I think he could be a huge key for this Iowa defense. And I anticipate him taking on a very big role for this upcoming season. Again, David Eichel, Sean Bach, HawkeyeInsider.com. Stay tuned for all your latest Iowa news, scoop, analysis, and discussion as we approach the 2020 regular season.